I would normally be addressing you at our ARP, but due to the restrictions from COVID-19, we're replacing that speech with this address. So this report covers last year, 2019, and I'm sure you'll all be aware that over the last 6 months in 2020, has been a very hard time for Scouts, but Scouts in their normal, resilient way have really come forward and have been, as Baden-Powell would say, been very well prepared in what we've done. So I'd just like to reflect on some of the things that we did in the Scout world last year. And I think we started off with Jamboree at Tailem Bend, where we had 4 units of Scouts and leaders go. It was a very challenging 10 days, as those of you who know who went to that were very well aware. But again, Hume Region Scouts and Hume Region leaders really did Hume Region proud. There's no other word to describe that. So we had approximately 130 youth go. Planning has already started for 2022, which will be in Elmore, where they had the Jamboree in 2007. So let's start getting ready for that. So now I'd like to start off, I'd like to thank so much all of our leaders and adult supporters, all of my section commissioners, right through from Joey's, Cubs, Scouts, Venturers and Rovers, also our training team, our teams who look after all of our campsites, and all of those leaders who go well and above and beyond their normal. I'd like to thank the Region Exec. The Region Executive is made up of both uniform and non-uniform members with adult supporters, and I really thank you for your support over the last 12 months, again in these trying times. I'd also like to thank our office management team, Nicole and Valley. They work tirelessly behind the scenes, and I don't think everybody realises the work that they do. So they're putting together all of our activities, they're putting together a lot of work through state, and obviously they're looking at my requests as well. In my previous reports, I've talked about the Region Development Officer that we had been allocated last year. David Miller started with us in September last year, and he hit the ground running, for want of a better word. So he has been an absolute asset to this region. However, with the onset of the bushfires and the smoke that we had towards the end of last year, and as we speak COVID-19, it's been a very challenging time for him. However, he has been out and about. He has been putting up the signs for Hume Region around the region. He has been going visiting groups. As I speak now, he's actually out at a pop-up stall that he's been doing, and I've got to say, we've had some fantastic results. And even if half of the people that have come to us with an interest, if they join, that will be fantastic. Another exciting activity that we had in 2019 was our pre-Coveree camp, which is the planning for Coveree. So we had 6 units go out to Cataract Park with the most amazing activities for that weekend. And as I said, pre-Coveree is training for Coveree, which was to be held in January 2020. But again, with the bushfires, with the smoke, it was agreed across the state that Coveree would be cancelled. As an addition to all the activities for pre-Coveree, I'd really like to thank the unit coordinators, but especially Vader, Paul Gibson, as Sam has discussed in her report, the wonderful base that he put together, which was the Savannah base. And what a shame that we didn't get to see some of the great activities of all of that base. But perhaps in the future, we may still be able to have the coverette that we were going to plan. But unfortunately, again, because of COVID-19, another cancellation. As you're all aware, the Chief Commissioner, Neville Tompkins, is always telling us that the Hume region is the fastest growing region in New South Wales. That's actually now been increased to Australia. No pressure on us, but I believe that we're able to rise to that number that I've been asked to exceed. Without, when you look at the growth of Oran Park, of Edmondson Park, of down in the Southern Highlands, I honestly believe that we'll be able to do that. Our leader numbers are growing. Our youth numbers are growing very slowly and steadily. It'll be interesting to see how we go at the end of COVID-19. I believe that our numbers will grow considerably, but that's to be seen. So just to some things that we did last year, some of the highlights of last year. Camden Show is probably our largest event that we have during the year. And again, I'd like to thank all the organisers for that. It was a very successful show. Again, we won first prize for community stand, and that is unbelievable. It's just wonderful, just awesome that we were able to do that. We have a lot of children through on that over the 2 days. So Friday we have a lot of school children come down. The teachers know that we exist. They bring their kids down to do all the things that we've done. We had the bungee, we had our maze. We also had our rope bridge, which is very, very successful. And then on Saturday, those children normally bring their parents back, and we were busy the whole 2 days. So I'd like to thank everybody on that. What else have we got? We've done a lot of activities, a lot of events during the year. Last year, this was a non-major event last year as far as jamboree or coveries were concerned, so we were able to focus on a lot of those events. And it's these events that we have the children come in. Yep. So, and I've just been reminded another major show that we do is the Moss Vale Recreational Show, which has been, again, this is our 3rd year last year that we ran that, and again, a very successful event where we're able to showcase what Scouting does. We have our rock wall from that we borrowed from Riverina. We had the bungee, we had tents, we had all sorts of things, and again, the support that we had from leaders and adults from down in that area has been just wonderful. And just speaking on Moss Vale, over the last 6 months, we've actually reopened 3 groups. Moss Vale we've reopened, which is just, again, fantastic, and that group is growing. We've reopened First Roads over at, obviously, it's at the Coptic Church at Rhodes, and the 3rd group that we're just about to reopen is Catherine Fields. I'm so excited to tell everybody that this is going to be a group that's going to extremely grow quite quickly, and I believe that we will probably end up with 2 groups. I believe we'll end up with First Oran Park, and I believe we will end up with First Catherine Fields. David Miller, our RDO, has plans to open a number of other different groups. We're looking at reopening Tamil, we're looking at reopening Miller, we're re-looking at quite a number of groups around the region, with the support of, again, of leaders and adult supporters. So, as I said, our growth is slow and steady, and for that, we're able to handle that, but as always, we're always looking for new leaders, we're always looking for adult supporters. We have had to say goodbye to Yoda, our Scout Commissioner last year, who's decided to stay with his group at Copperty, and that is wonderful. So I suppose I could use this as an advertisement for a Scout Commissioner. But one of the other groups, the other 2 things that we've actually started this year, which has been one of my dreams, is to start up Razorback Venturers, and also MacArthur Venturers. And again, my thanks go out to the adults and leaders who have supported both of those venturer units. They are brand new units, with MacArthur Venturers actually designing a scarf of their own, which was very exciting. Just remember that Scouting is all about youth-led, adult-supported. In that particular case, that was the case. So, in these uncertain times of COVID-19, as we sit here, because again, it has been very challenging, but as I said at the beginning, our groups and our leaders have risen to that. And again, at this date, as of this morning, next week, I'm happy to tell you that we have approximately 6 groups going back face-to-face scouting, which is very exciting. So, again, thank you so much, everybody, and I really appreciate everybody's help, and I look forward to a very exciting and adventurous and challenging 2020.